Now, what do we have here? Cheap Trick, The Flame. Let's go. So I heard the name Cheap Trick for years and years and years. I don't think I ever listened to their music, but that's the purpose of the channel, is so I can get more familiar with this stuff and you can see my reaction to it. So we're going to do that today with Cheap Trick, The Flame. I think they're from like the 80s, I want to say, is where Cheap Trick is from. I am from the 80s as well. My name is Krizz Kaliko. I'm the only multi-gold and platinum selling rapper, singer, songwriter, producer that reacts to videos on YouTube. This is Krizz Kaliko Reacts. Let's go.
Krizz Kaliko.
Kaliko?
Krizz Kaliko.
Krizz! Oh, they're waking Krizz up! Uh-oh!
Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, from the 80s, Cheap Trick. Now I finally get to hear something that they do, man, so let's go. I know they from the 80s with that hair. 80s had the hair bands, hair groups. I wouldn't have survived in the 80s, not with this bald head. But I used to have a lot of hair like that, though, so I might have been cool. All right, let's go.
Another night slowly closes in, and I feel so lonely. Touching heat, freezing on my skin. I pretend you still hold me. I'm going crazy, I'm losing sleep. I'm in too far, I'm in way too deep over you. I can't believe you're gone. You were the first, you'll be the last. Wherever you go, I'll be with you.
All right.
Whatever you want, I'll give it to you.
All right, I'm catching on.
Whenever you need someone to lay your heart and head upon, remember after the fire, after all the rain, I will be the flame.
Oh, sorry. All right, give me a pause right here. This is where I was trying to wait for a good break. Is that I don't know if you could really survive in the 80s as a rock band if you didn't do a power ballad. That's what I think this is called, a power ballad. And you couldn't really survive if you didn't do this. Like Bon Jovi and all these other groups, they had to have it. Now, groups that are older, like AC/DC and them, I don't think they ever slowed their songs down. It was just cranking it all night, you know what I'm saying, on stage. And so, yeah, the bands in the 80s that came out in the 80s, I mean, like a Cheap Trick or like I said, like Bon Jovi, they had to have these power ballads. And, you know, White Snake, think about these kind of bands that had this big hair. The school I went to, kids used to have these T-shirts of these bands on, you know what I'm saying? And they would be singing these songs. And so that's where I heard some of them, you know what I mean? Even the radio station here in Kansas City, Q104 used to play some of them too, man. So anyway, yeah, let's keep going, man, with the power ballad.
Watching shadows move across the wall feels so frightening. I wanna run to you, I wanna crawl, but I've been hit by lightning. Just can't stand up for falling apart. Can't see through the spell across my heart over you.
All right, give me a pause real quick before we get out of here. Is that also I feel like unless you're a big act now, you can't really spend a big budget on radio. You know what I mean? But back then they had to spend a big budget. Like if you didn't have a big banging video or a big epic video, you almost that's another way you couldn't survive. You had to have the hair. I forgot what else I said, but you had to have this big budget video. Oh, you had to have a power ballad. That was the other thing. You had to have the hair, power ballad, and you had to have a big budget video to survive. Now you can do social media, but this is what they had to do back then. But I still love these days, and I still love this music. You know what I mean? Yeah, beautiful, man. Like I said, you got to have the epic video. You got to have the power ballad. I'm sure this would bring the girls, and if you bring the girls, you bring the guys, and I'm talking about to the concert, guys. So yeah, bring back the '80s just a little bit, just a little hair, maybe a little hair, and there's still epic videos out there, but you can actually really make it doing it cheaper than this, I'll say. If you're on a major label, of course, that's what they're going to do. But Cheap Trick, now I can say I've heard it. And I don't know if this is all that they did. So we got to go down the rabbit hole of Cheap Trick to see exactly what's in their catalog, guys. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, man. And I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Cali, baby. Oh!